Hello everyone, welcome to Sajabana Games. So today I'm going to show everyone a little bit of Valheim. So Valheim isn't like a big AAA game with super detailed graphics and all those fancy bells and whistles, but it's a fun game with a large crowd following. So I just thought I would show it to y'all, what it's like, give a few basic beginners tips, and if everyone likes it, hopefully they'll give it a try, play the game, and have fun. So, anyways, you start off in this large open world with basically nothing but your undies, and you get dropped in by this large bird, which is like ferrying you to the afterlife, right? So you are basically dead, and you're in this, I believe it's Nordic mythological world, um, where you have to fight like these just different creatures. There are um, also just general wildlife, and then there is the like godlike bosses that are like the different gods for the different creatures. So here's like a little shrine kind of for each of them, right, along the circle. And this bird will appear, the small version, not the one that carried you in, occasionally to give you tips in the game and tell you how to play. So let's go ahead and talk to him. So he's here to guide us in our travels. Right? These megaliths are sacrificial stones. They represent the Forsaken, which you must slay in order to ascend to Valhalla. So our goal is to get to Valhalla, slay these different creatures. So like this one is like a deer. This one I think is the elder. And then yeah. So and if you read the stones, they'll tell you a little bit about them. So let's go ahead and read these. So his antlers are branches of iron. They crack the rocks and bring down mountains. His hooves are the sound of thunder. His voice is a hollow gal. So this is the first boss you're gonna find and beat. Um, so this is what your progression is gonna be like. So all right. Anyway, so we got our location here. We can see we got a mini map in the upper right. You got a forest. There's things to collect. There's rocks and stuff. You can't get rocks and stuff without an axe unless you pick them up off the ground. But what you want to do is first thing is you got to build a workbench. That's like task number one, is to build a workbench and a hammer. So he brings tidings. Follow him around. Okay. Seek shelter, open flame. Right. So he's telling you to build a fire basically. All right. So you pick up stones, off the ground basically, one stone at a time, early on. So and you can also pick up branches off the ground, which is good because it's kind of a silent way to do things. Because in this game, when you make noise, you do draw the attention of creatures, right? So there's a boar. I don't want to get his attention because he will chase me and he will fight me. You can tame them eventually if you pick the right foods and like leave it for them to eat. You'll tame them, and then once they're friendly, you can once they're tame, you can like if you lure them into like a gated area, you can close the door and kind of entrap them. And if you put two or more in there, they will multiply. And then it becomes easy to basically slaughter them for their materials, right? So for like the meat and the skins, which you need to craft things. All right, so we got some stone here so far. Oh, here we go. Some berries. So in the beginning, you're going to find mostly berries and mushrooms. That's going to be your food sources. I do recommend you stock up and keep a full stack, at least one stack of several different foods. And in the beginning, you probably also want to try and keep a stack of stone and a stack of wood in your inventory, right? So here's my inventory. I've got my clothing, which is equipped. That's why it's blue. 6 stone, 6 dandelions, and 6 berries. So if I go ahead and eat a berry, you can see here it's down in this lower left, and it says 10 minutes. So this is telling me the berry has a 10-minute effect, and it's basically buffing my stats, right? So if I hover over here, you can see it gives me 7 health and 20 extra stamina for 10 minutes, and the healing of 1 health per tick. So you can see my health is increasing, but then once the berry runs out, my health will go down. Oh, no, I don't want to fight him necessarily. I guess I'm going to have to. He's going to... Alright. Well, alright, I got him, so... That's a neck. It's like a lizard, basically like a I don't know, like an alligator, because they will chase you, they will fight you, but you know, you can fight hand to hand. Okay, so let's see. Let's collect some stone, try and avoid these boar, because I just don't feel like chasing and fighting a boar before I have a knife or anything basically. Let's see if we can find some branches on the ground here somewhere. Because if you find branches on the ground, you can pick them up and just get some wood, which is easy. You can also fish in this game. Eventually you'll make a boat and you go to different islands. There's different biomes as well. Sometimes you can, I mean, you can have multiple biomes on one island for sure, but sometimes you'll find, you know, to find some of the more advanced biomes as you progress, you're going to have to make a boat and sail. Alright, you found a snack, consume it to improve your health and stamina. Well, I already told everyone that. Alright, so let's keep going here. Okay. We'll start heading toward the woods. Now, nighttime is the most dangerous, like a lot of games. More baddies and creatures kind of come out at night. Oh, there's a boar there. I don't want to get his attention. But I do want is this wood. Alright, cool. So we'll pick up this wood so that we don't have to use our fist on a small tree. But you can knock down like a sapling without an axe. But it generates noise, and when you generate noise, like I said, the bad guys and things in the world you'll draw their attention, and they'll come from quite a ways. They'll come from like up the hill and stuff. You also find sometimes these abandoned structures. So it's got a roof, so I could technically use this, because you do need a roof over things. Oh, here's a different type of stone. This is flint. We'll eventually need flint too. Oh, there we go. I jumped enough to improve my jump skill. Maybe twice. Alright, well, let's not get stuck in the water, because you can drown pretty easy. You run out of stamina. If you run out of stamina while you're swimming, you'll start to take damage, and if you don't make it to shore, you will die, and then that's a really hard way to get all your stuff back, because when you die, you like drop a tombstone with all your gear and stuff, and you can go back and retrieve all your gear. You can go back and get everything, but if it's out like in the middle of the water where you can't really reach it, that's gonna be a challenge. Alright, so I don't have as much wood as I'd like, but I think I have enough for some basic tools. So let's go over here. I'm not going to use that pre-built shelter. That'd be too easy. Alright, get some more flint. Usually you find the flint in this particular biome here, where it's kind of grassy. You'll find it where there's the grasslands and the forest near water. The flint is almost always near water. So that's one thing. You'll also find the neck, the little lizard-like creatures, near water typically. And eventually you'll find yourself hunting boar for leather scraps and deer for like leather, and both provide also different meats that you can cook to get more buffs. Cooked meat provides better buffs than non-cooked meat. And then there is, if you get the birds, you can get the feathers to make better arrows and stuff like that. So just some basics. Alright, but anyways, alright, and you get XP based on what you do. If you run, you get run XP to level up your run ability. If you jump, you get jump XP. If you swim, you swim. So if I sit here and just jump, right, because I just started a brand new character for this video, so I jump a bunch and I level up. If I run a bunch, right, if I just run, because I haven't got any run experience yet, if I just run, oh, I need my stamina back. Let's get my stamina back. Right, so if I just run a few times, yeah, get my stamina back. Okay, so let's run back to shore. I like to make my base, my first base when you start new. My recommendation is to build. Oh, here's a bad guy, so I'm gonna have to fight him with fists because I haven't making tools yet. But these guys with the yellow eyes, these Greylings, they're pretty easy, but they do. Oh, now the boar is probably a little bit harder because especially it's a dark. the boar will charge and come at you from different angles, and they'll run. Let's see if I can get him though. As long as I see him coming. Alright, he almost got me, but I got him first. Okay, there we go. So we got some boar meat and leather scraps. Okay, let's go ahead and build our first kind of shelter and base. We'll start in here. Now, I want to be close to the water. I want to be close to the grasslands and the forest, because I need the forest for the wood. The grasslands here, or meadows, sorry, meadows, they also provide different, slightly different resources and different abundance. So I like to build in the beginning between the meadows and this forest here. So let's go ahead into our menu here. So here we are, crafting. We got our inventory. It tells us the couple things we can make. I can make a stone axe, a club, and a hammer. And that's pretty much it in the beginning. So what do I need? 5 wood. I only have 6. And 4 stone. I've got enough stone. To make a hammer, I only need 3 and 2. Let's make the axe first though, because that'll make it easier to get wood. So let's go ahead and make our axe. Okay, so we've got our stone axe, and we have enough for torch. I don't really use torches too much unless I'm going into like a dungeon layer, which they do have. So, okay, we've got our axe. So now, let's go ahead and, well, I'll get a few saplings. I'm not going to use my axe quite yet because I don't want to draw. The more noise you make, the further away animals and creatures come from, right? So we got, there you go, more wood. Plus this will build up our XP for our melee, I think, using our fist. So let's get some more trees. We'll cut a bigger tree here in a minute because we're gonna need a lot more wood. And then you use a lot of wood in this game, and stone eventually, but in the beginning, wood. Oh, I need more XP, more stamina. I mean. All right, so. All right. Oh, and this structure. Something to watch for. When you see these couple of stones propping up a larger stone, like this little house thing, a lot of times that is where you'll find, well, you'll find like this, amber, but you'll also find skeletons, which will hunt and kill everything, basically. They'll kill the wildlife, and they'll kill greylings. Greylings and skeletons will fight and such. All right, so, okay. Let's get this on the roll here. So, oh, and there's some deer too, but I don't have what I need to kill a deer yet. I mean, you can kill them with your fist, but that's no fun. It's a little bit more difficult. All right, so now let's go ahead and build our hammer. And we got enough, so we'll build a club, just in case we need to fight something. Even though I typically fight more with my, I'll fight more with my axe than I will with my club typically. But different damage does do the different benefits to different creatures. So some are like there's like blunt damage, and there's other things too. But yeah, so okay, let's go ahead and build. So if I equip my hammer, and you need your hammer to build, you can repair stuff. So I need a fire, keep warm, and that's to cook. So a pit. And then I need 10 wood for a crafting station. So let's go ahead and get our 10 wood. So let's cut down our first tree. Let's see, are these the ones like, yeah, beech trees are pretty basic. I can cut them down. So one thing that will happen in this game, when you chop a tree down, it will fall. If it falls on you, it will hurt you. If you don't have enough health, it will kill you. They'll also like roll downhill and stuff, and they'll knock down other trees and things. Well, in this case, it fell into the other tree. Okay, fine. But, so when you cut it down, it becomes these massive logs, and you gotta cut it into smaller logs until eventually it's like harvestable wood that you can pick up. So there we go. So now it's splitting right into the 2 large logs. And I'm building my axe skill here. Alright, got a bunch of wood. How much wood? 9 wood. That's a bit. Oops. So, And just remember your tools, they do have health. When the health runs out, you can no longer use it, but they don't like disappear, which is kind of nice because you never really lose your better gear if you like don't watch the health meter, but you won't be able to use it until you make your way back to your repair station. The other thing is it doesn't take resources to repair items. So your structures, utility, your tools, all that stuff, it doesn't take anything to repair. It just takes a station. All right, so we got wood now. Let's go back into our build menu again. Oops, I need my hammer. Let's equip our hammer. And let's go ahead and build a workbench. So you can see this white circle forming. This is the radius we'll be able to build in with this one workbench. So now we can do things in this radius. Now you will need a roof. And we see we got new recipes coming in. So you'll need a roof over your building. And note, oops, when you come on. When you're building oops, not the torch. When you're building things, it will make noise. Noise draws the bad guys. So, the Greylings, especially these weak ones, will come out of the woodwork. I don't know why I got a torch and a club. Come here, you little rascal. You're out of range. And I don't have enough stamina. Oh, I should have ate something. That's why. Oh, it's a little late to eat now. So you can consume, once you get multiple foods, you can consume up to 3 items. You see 3 slots down there. You can consume up to 3 types of food at a time. You can also hotbar your food, which is not a bad idea. At least your favorites. So now, there we go. Let's eat some more berries. Okay, so that'll give us a little more stamina. And let's put our torch away because it has health as well. Okay, so we got our workbench and our equip our hammer. Let's put a roof over this because you need a roof. So one thing a lot of people like about Valheim is the building system, which I'll say is kind of unique, right? So you have to support your structures. So I can build this wood here, and then I can put stuff on top of it, but you need walls for things for one, and you need, more importantly, a roof. The wood, when it rains, will get damaged if you don't have a roof. So there's that. So let me go ahead and build a wall like this. We're just gonna make a pretty basic structure here. Let's go this way. Less of a hill. Okay. And we'll probably run out of wood here in a minute. We'll have to go get more, but that's okay. And you see this is not touching, so it's not really anchored in the ground, but that's okay for now. In a minute we can resolve that. Okay, so let's build some sides. I know some people I've seen build some very minimalistic structures in this game, but I do prefer to put walls up, not just a roof sometimes. Okay, so here's our walls. Now, that's a start. And here, I'll show you something that's important about the building in this game. See how that panel is green? If I keep building out here, it's still green. There, now it's orange. Oh, I need more wood. Okay, fine. Let's chop down another tree. Because we have a workbench, so we can fix everything now. You can also chop the stumps too, but they'll provide more wood too. If you really need some wood, you can chop stumps, and you'll get seeds. Once you get the right tools and you have seeds, you can plant trees, which is useful because different types of trees provide different types of wood. And if you take the seeds with you, though, the trees that you can and the things you can plant, they'll grow. Even though you find them in different biomes, they'll grow in any biome basically. So you can take a tree that you would normally only find in your basic entry forest, and you can put it in the black forest where you find the other trees. Or more importantly, you can take the pine trees and stuff that give you better wood than the beech trees, and you can plant them near your base if there aren't any growing near your base. You just got to get the seeds and have the tools. But before you can get that level, you'll need to beat, I think, the first 2 bosses. Because the first boss will give you, or no, you need to beat just the first boss, I think. The first boss will give you his antlers, and they're like a hard antler, and you make a like a antler-based axe, or not axe, antler-based pickaxe, and then that's when you can finally like get stone, like crack open big stones, and you can also get like iron ore. I think you start getting tin and copper. I want to say tin and copper, like the first two you're gonna mine, and then you can make like 10 weapons, make a couple copper items, and then you can eventually smelt tin and copper to make bronze and make bronze weaponry. So that's like kind of the third progression, I think, is the bronze stuff. The special gear you can make too, if you collect enough, is you can make like some troll. Oops, so now my axe is damaged. I need to go repair it. So let's see if I go here and just use my workbench. Needs a roof. Oh, so I gotta build the roof first. Alright, fine. Let's go ahead and put a roof over this thing. And before I do that, we'll do this. So you can see I can angle things too. That was a little thing there. That's good. Oh, it's daytime. Woohoo. We get some light. Alright, so a roof. Let's go ahead and, I like these little cornered angle roofs. Let's go ahead and snap this on here if we can. Let's do the taller slope so we have more of a peak. So let's, oops, rotate that. We'll build our first structure here. Our first little base. Okay. Is that rotated right? No, it's not. It should be so that this right there, that's better. Okay. So we got 2 corners, and then do like this, and then we'll rotate, do like that. And don't worry about the middle open. We can fix that in a minute. All right. So there we go. So that hopefully is enough roof for our workbench. Whoops. I keep pressing the wrong key here. There we go. Okay, so let's go back. If we just go like this, that's the repair mode. But we don't need repair mode. There we go. Let's use the workbench. Alright, so now that we're in the workbench interface, you can see here, this is just a repair item. If you just go in here and click this a bunch of times, it'll repair everything that's damaged. Except for the torch. I don't know why I didn't repair the torch, but okay. So here you can see now we can make a couple different items. We do have some flint, so we can make a better axe, which I do recommend. We can't make a bow yet, but we can make arrows. So let's go ahead and make our flint axe. So that'll replace our stone axe. I'll just hold on to the stone one as a backup for now. The flint one will chop better, last longer, because it's an upgrade. We can also make our hoe, which will allow us to start to terraform the earth. Like we can make a path and stuff like that, which isn't really, I don't know, super useful quite yet, but okay. So we got some basic resources collected here. We'll stack that wood. We can also see we're about 1/3 our weight, but that's okay. Okay, and then, so that's a start. Now we need a bed and a fire. So let's equip our hammer again. Go over to our furniture, and we can see here we can make a bed. So let's rotate this around. Alright, so there's a bed. And just because it's going to bother me, my OCD will go insane, I'm going to close up these lower walls. But first, I'm going to show you guys something else. So as I was mentioning earlier, see how this is like a green, orange? This is how far away you are from support in your structure, right? So like here, if I build again, it's red now, and then if I build again, it'll basically take damage and fall off. So if your building doesn't have support, it won't work. And that's the key. That's the important thing to remember there. To have support, it has to touch the ground. Now, it doesn't matter kind of where you can go and make it touch the ground somewhere else. The other thing too is it's important when you're building windows and things. So a couple aspects. Windows are good because they let you see out and they let light in because the buildings will get dark, right? There are light dynamics. But there's also the factor that um, smoke. So I'll show you here in a moment. When you build a fireplace in this game, there is smoke, and you have to manage the smoke, or it will damage you, it will hurt you. So and that'll snap. So I can snap that wall down there into the earth, and that'll take care of that. Okay, so let's do some more roof here. And I'll say too, another thing to remember about opponents and like I was saying, windows and visibility. You can hide, and if they can't see you and they don't know where you're at, they won't necessarily always attack you. So that's kind of nice. You can hide from some of the bad guys. Like I've hidden from trolls many times. So let's do this. We'll get rid of the grass inside our building here, so that we can pretty up our home. Take pride in where we live. So this is leveling the ground. Oops, I think we removed too much. Okay, so let's go back. We need to support our building because we took out too much earth. I took out too much earth. Oh, and we need more wood. All right, let's get more wood and fix our house. Then we'll make a fire and we'll be ready to go. All right, we can't cut down that big tree. Let's go test out our flint axe. So it should work a little bit better. You can see here the numbers of how much damage you're doing, but the stumps are a little stubborn. There we go. We got some wood from our stump, just 2. But, again, we'll pretty up. Get rid of the stumps. Oh, I could eat another berry. Alright, so... Oh, that's a rock. See there, I did 0 damage to the rock, and here comes the Greyling. He hears me. They'll often drop for you. Sometimes you get like 1 piece of wood, and you'll get like this resin when they die. You'll get like a couple things from them. There's also different levels of the Greylings, in different types. So there's like star levels for Greylings and animals. The higher the star level, the more of a challenge they are, and also the better loot they drop, which isn't like a long list of like quality improvements, but they do drop like more resources and better resources more consistently when they're bigger. The other thing is there's different types of Greylings. So the first one is the yellow eye guy. He's really easy to defeat. He's just like a weak melee, no armor. The next one you're going to encounter as we go into the woods is the guy with blue eyes, and they are ranged. They throw rocks at you. They're not hard to dodge or anything, but they do throw rocks. And then after that, there's a brute, which has got like red eyes, and he's just stronger, comes at you harder. And then there is like a magician kind of guy who kind of spews poison at you. He'll also heal himself and others around him. So, and I think that's it. There's the melee, there is the ranged, then there is the brute, and the wizard. At least that's what I've encountered so far that I recall. And then there's other non-Greyling characters. So, okay, I took out a little too much earth here, but at least it's supported in the corners, so it's not fallen down on us yet. Let's build some more wall here at the bottom. What? I don't have enough. Oh. None. Oh, something broke my workbench. Okay. So they destroyed my workbench. That can happen. The Greylings can take on and destroy your stuff. Alright, so let's place it just a little different. We'll put it along this wall here. Okay, so there we go. Now we got that back. Let's go put some walls under here so that these sections touch the ground. If I hover over them in the right place, stuff will just snap together, and I can rotate because I want the ugly side inward. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's not supported. Why is it red? It's in the ground. Alright, well, let's do this. Let's put a post here. And we'll put a post. If we get it right, we can... Invalid placement. Okay, it doesn't like that placement. Well, let's just try the wall. Why can we snap the wall here? Might be hard now that it's getting dark. We can't see. Okay, well, doesn't like all that placement. Let's go this side. That's already into the ground. So if I snap to this and just rotate it right. Oops. Where is it? Let's see. It becomes a challenge in the dark. And I didn't build a fire, so I can't really use my bed yet. Alright, that looks like the right rotation. Let's see, we can close this up. No? Alright. Let's do a couple more things here. Make our lives easier. Let's go ahead and build our fire. So we're going to build a fire. I'm going to put it right about here. So that'll provide some light and heat. And like I mentioned a minute earlier, it'll also make smoke. Let's build a cooking station. So if you do these right, you can put 2 cooking stations over 1 fire, but for now, 1's enough. Okay, so there we go. Built our cooking station. Oops, okay, we do our torch, but and we have items to cook. So now, when you put them over here, they'll like sizzle and they'll make the little white smoke. You don't want to leave too long because it doesn't take long to cook things. As soon as it's done cooking, if you leave it too long, it'll turn to charcoal. So one, you can make charcoal for other things that you need charcoal for in the game by overcooking meat, but you can't consume it. So you won't be able to eat the meat once you char it. So there you go. It makes another sizzle and it snaps and now it's cooked. So you can see we have cooked. We have 2 different cooked meats. So I can put these up here on my hotbar for now. And now I can consume meat and berries. So if I do like 4 and 5, I only had those, that's all I had left. So now my stamina, you see plus 30, plus 10. So my stamina's increasing. You can see too, the smoke is going out the roof here. So a couple things. Roofs are important because without a roof, your building takes damage. Right, so that's one thing. Your building will take damage if you don't have a roof. So you want a roof because, you know, no one wants to have a damaged building. It won't fall down without a roof. Like, it won't, like, damage to the point where it collapses. But it will take damage, and then when, like, the Greyling things attack you, it will not have the same health, right, as it would otherwise. Why won't it let me? I'm confused about this corner and why it won't let me build. Alright, so there we go. Build a post, and now maybe I can connect to that post. Let's see. Okay, so that gap is closed. And that gap is closed. Okay, so that closes the gaps. So our building's a little more sturdy now. We'll put one there too. Okay. So it's coming together. Now, if you see how the smoke is rising and going out the center, if you're not careful, the smoke, if it builds up, will like cause you trouble. It will kill you, and you don't want that. So just make sure you give a way for your smoke to get out. But there is another thing, which is rain, when a storm comes, will damage and put out your fire. So you gotta think about keeping the rain off of your wood structures, except for the roofs, because the roofs are wood, but so you gotta think about keeping the rain off your wood structures, and letting the smoke out. So there's like two factors when you're building here that you got to think about. Whoops, that's a pole. I wanted a beam. That's a short beam. Where's my long beam? There's my long beam. So just for looks, I was gonna do this. Okay, and then, yeah, that's pretty good there. Okay, so we'll go one more section and we'll do our corners, and that'll give us room to expand inside, because you need a little room to expand your base. Matter of fact, I might have put my fire too close to my workbench, but we'll address that later because that's a little ways away. All right, let's put that there, and we're just building a little bit of small longhouse, basically. Okay, and let's do our cornered roof sections here. Alright, got a cornered roof section. What was cornered roof section? Come on, snap where you need to go. Because I don't want to... It's not snapping quite where I want it. Okay, there we go. I said the rotation was a little bit off. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put this here. Okay, so that gives us most of our roof, not all, and let's put some panels on. You can hear the lizards, the neck, I think the neck, yeah, the neck. You can hear them making their noises in the background. Let's see. Maybe if I go from the inside, oh, that rock is blocking the light. That's okay. There we go. Okay, so our first house is almost done, and we got the opening in the middle, which will let the rain in and out, or keep the rain out off the things on the edge as long as we build along the walls, and we'll let the smoke out. Right? If the smoke, like I said, if the smoke builds up, it'll kill us. So now, anyways, we don't need a door necessarily. I mean, you might want to keep out the Greylings, but a door is not required. Let's go ahead and he wants to talk. Good practice to always have some spare equipment if something unfortunate should happen. Yes, okay. Well, we'll worry about that later. Let's go ahead and claim the bed. Spawn point reset. So, and then we're gonna sleep. So we'll get some sleep. This will kind of reset our stamina buffs and things and everything. So that is the beginning of Valheim. You know, build a structure. You need a bed, a workbench, a fire, and a bed. Cook some food, gather some stone and rock, and watch out for the bad guys. This is where I'll conclude this video, and then I'll start another one with a couple other construction exploration tips and things here soon. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll continue making more content. And in the meantime, everybody have fun gaming. Sajabana, signing off.